Hello everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Pharma Elites YouTube channel. This is the Drug of the Day series where today we will be discussing briefly about the drug sodium nitroprusside. So let's get started. Sodium nitroprusside belongs to the class of vasodilators that comes under the category of antihypertensive drugs, and its subclass is arteriolar plus venous vasodilators, and its main use is in hypertensive crisis and emergencies. So this is the class of vasodilators, and as you can see here, it is divided into three categories. We have venodilators, arteriolar dilators, and both arteriolar and venodilators. So venodilators are those drugs that specifically dilates the veins, and here we have two drugs, glyceryl trinitrate and isosorbide dinitrate. Now, arteriolar dilators are those drugs that specifically dilates the arteries, and here we have hydralazine. And then we have arteriolar and venodilators that dilates both arteries and veins. And here we have sodium nitroprusside. Now, this is the chemical formula of sodium nitroprusside, and its chemical name is sodium pentacyanonitrosyl ferrate 3. And this is the structure. So as you can see here, it has 5 cyano groups. These are the 5 cyano groups. It is pentacyano, and this is the nitrosyl group. And in the middle, they all are attached to the ferrous ion. So it is sodium pentacyanonitrosyl ferrate 3. Now, sodium nitroprusside reduces both preload and afterload. So what is preload? Preload is the initial stretching of the cardiac myocytes or the heart muscles before contraction, and this is related to ventricular filling. And afterload is the force against which the heart has to contract to eject the blood. So basically, preload is the initial stretching of the heart muscles before contraction, and afterload is the amount of pressure that the heart needs to exert to eject the blood during ventricular contraction. Also, sodium nitroprusside is one of the most potent blood pressure lowering agent. It is a rapidly acting drug. The duration of action is just 2 to 5 minutes. And because of the short duration of action, it is used only for hypertensive emergencies. And it causes dilation of both venous bloods, venous vascular bed, and arterial vascular bed. Now let's look at the pharmacokinetics. So sodium nitroprusside is reddish brown in color and the pH is around 3.5 to 6. It is extremely sensitive to light and it is unstable in the presence of light, and that's why it should be protected from both light and heat. The exposure of sodium nitroprusside solution to light causes deterioration, and this will lead to change in color from reddish brown to greenish bluish in color, and this is because of the rearrangement of the nitrosyl group to the inactive isonitrile form. So as we saw in the last slide, just a second. So as you can see here, this is the nitrosyl group, this N double bond O, this is the nitrosyl group. So in the presence of light, this nitrosyl group gets converted into isonitrosyl group, which is N triple bond C. And this leads to deterioration of sodium nitroprusside. So in the presence of light, sodium nitroprusside undergoes rearrangement of the nitrosyl group to form inactive isonitrosyl group. Sodium nitroprusside also decomposes at alkaline pH and also on exposure to light. So that's why the infusion bottle should be protected from light by wrapping it with an aluminum foil, or it should be covered with a black paper. Also, we have to make sure that no trace elements are present, like trace metals are present, like iron and copper, because presence of these trace metals can catalyze the degradation of sodium nitroprusside. Also, if change in color occurs, we have to discard the solution, and we have to make sure that no preservatives are added to stabilize sodium nitroprusside, because that will also lead to its deterioration. Now let's look at the mechanism of action. But before moving on to mechanism of action, we need to know that nitrodilators are of two types. So we have those drugs that directly release nitric oxide, they will spontaneously release nitric oxide. And the example is sodium nitroprusside. And the second category is those drugs which require an enzymatic activation to form nitric oxide. And here we have organic nitrates. So sodium nitroprusside belongs to the first class, the first category, that is, it releases nitric oxide spontaneously. Now let's look at the mechanism of action. So sodium nitroprusside, when it is given by IV, it is spontaneously broken down to release nitric oxide. And then this nitric oxide will activate guanylate cyclase in the smooth muscles. And this will lead to increase in the cyclic GMP levels. Now this cyclic GMP will then activate protein kinase C, which will inactivate the myosin light chains that are involved in smooth muscle contraction. And ultimately, the end result will be that the vascular smooth muscle relaxation will be produced that will cause vasodilation. So sodium nitroprusside will first break down into nitric oxide. This nitric oxide will activate guanylate cyclase and it will increase the level of cyclic GMP. This cyclic GMP will then activate protein kinase C, which will lead to inactivation of myosin light chains that are involved in muscle contraction. And ultimately, vascular smooth muscle relaxation will be produced that will cause vasodilation. Now, we also need to remember that sodium nitroprusside is split into cyanide, and this cyanide in the liver gets converted into thiocyanate with the help of this enzyme, thiosulfate sulfotransferase, that is also known as rhodinase. So sodium nitroprusside, when it is split, it releases cyanide, because we saw in the second slide that it is made up of 5 cyanide groups. So it splits to release cyanide, which in the liver gets converted into thiocyanate with the help of rhodinase enzyme. Now this thiocyanate is excreted very slowly by the kidney. So if large doses of nitroprusside are given over a longer period of time, like for more than 1 to 2 days, then excess of thiocyanate will accumulate inside the body and this will produce toxicity. Now this is very harmful because thiocyanate is neurotoxic in nature. So if the patients of renal failure, the patients who have kidney problems like renal failure, if they take sodium nitroprusside, then excess of thiocyanate will accumulate in their body, which will lead to neurotoxicity. Then now let's look at the adverse effect. So the most clinically important adverse effect of sodium nitroprusside is profound hypertension and also accumulation of cyanide and thiocyanate. So thiocyanate will accumulate in the blood of those patients who are suffering from impaired renal function. And since it is neurotoxic in nature, if the level of thiocyanate in such patient increases above the concentration of 200 micrograms per milliliter, then it will cause neurotoxicity. Apart from that, thiocyanate also inhibits the uptake as well as binding of iodine and produces hypothyroidism, and it also produces methemoglobinemia because sodium nitroprusside can bind to vitamin B12 and it interferes with both distribution as well as metabolism of vitamin B12. That's why it should be given with caution in patients who have low plasma vitamin B12 concentration, because excess of cyanide will be produced in the blood, which will bind to hemoglobin, and then this will lead to methemoglobinemia. So the 4 main adverse effects of sodium nitroprusside are profound hypertension, accumulation of cyanide and thiocyanate, hypothyroidism, and methemoglobinemia. Now, this was the question that came in GPAT 2012. The question was, which of the following drugs produces significant relaxation of both venules and arterioles? And the options were hydralazine, minoxidil, diazoxide, and sodium nitroprusside. So the answer here is obviously sodium nitroprusside. Now here hydralazine is an arterial vasodilator. We saw in the classification slide, in the second slide. Minoxidil is also an arterial vasodilator. It causes vasodilation predominantly of arteries and it does not produce venodilation. And diazoxide is a diuretic. So it is a diuretic that inhibits sodium chloride co-transporter in the distal proximal tubule. So you have to read the question carefully here. The question specifically asks for the drug that causes dilation of both veins and arteries. Hydralazine and minoxidil produces dilation of only arteries and diazoxide is a diuretic. So the correct answer here is sodium nitroprusside. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. And if you did, then make sure to like it and share it with all of your friends who are preparing for GPAT and NIPER. Also subscribe to PharmaElite's channel where we upload such informative videos every day, and also hit the bell icon so that you never miss any update. We also have a free WhatsApp group where we post daily MCQs related to GPAT and NIPER, and also happenings in the pharmaceutical industry and job opportunities. So if you want to join this free WhatsApp group, drop a text on these two numbers that are given here, and then we'll do the needful. Thank you.